All right, welcome to the observation game section of match week 8, and you guys aren't going to be disappointed. None of you are going to get games, and so like if you want to watch a City game, like how are we going to do the City game? And really, let's be fair, let's be honest. Like if there's a game on TV like Leicester City, West Brom, would you play that? Would you play that on a Saturday if it's one of the 8 o'clock games? Probably not, and it's an observation game. But I mean, it's on. It's Monday, and you're kind of hungover from just a smorgasbord of football and baseball, and so it's like, okay, well, it's like drinking the hair of the dog the next day. Well, this game's on, so try to give you a little bit on that. So if you play them, that you at least have an educated thought behind it. But more importantly, we're gonna harp on the theme, and I'm gonna talk about this all the time because I think it's the most important thing in sports betting: knowing percentages to American money line. Perhaps, and also maybe arguably the house margin. And if you know those two things, you're so far ahead of the game because you know when a bet is probably definitely less advantageous to you. But you can say, well, you know what? That's fine. I'm going to bet $300 on the overnight 5 dimes line because it's a 1% take, and then I'd like the DraftKings module, and I like to play or the DraftKings interface. It's fun. It keeps me engaged in life, and it makes me happy. But I understand that they've got a whatever it is, 10 to 15% house margin, so it's going to be tough to beat. Or I'm going to go to the horse track, and it's at best a 15% margin at the track. And there's stuff online you can do with rebates and whatnot. But just understanding that so you can kind of budget your money and your time as well. And I think that's the single most important thing that we've done as a company is really taking advantage of those overnight lines for the baseball. You just can't get anything in the United States. You just can't get anything better than that unless you go or bet illegally or move to Europe, and you can bet Betfair. But those are very competitive lines, and there's no reason not to take them. So these lines for the soccer are pretty good. They're right around 2% or just a little less, 1.9 from a house margin. So let's get into it. We're gonna go and we'll talk about theory and stuff as we go. Hopefully you guys can pick some stuff up and you'll learn it better by talking about it. For me, I can be a better teacher, and will help in all aspects of my handicap life. So, and that's why I do it. But I also like to bet too. That is fun. Okay, so we got Burnley, West Ham United. What the hell are we going to do with this game here? So this is very interesting. Model showing utility a little bit on Burnley. Let's see what the attack module shows. The attack module shows, okay, Burnley, probably with some utility. So you're leaning Burnley. I was leaning Burnley. Don't want to get burned by Burnley. Oh, and the G6 module, 4 goals. Burnley, 4 goals to 3. Offensive juggernauts they are. And West Ham, 7 goals to 9. So that for the last 16 games, the average would be 15. So that's 2.5 goals combined by the team. So yeah, 2.5 times 6 is 15. And so Burnley way under that, but so a lot of the modeling shows utility on the home team. But I tell you what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the draw, and here's why. Okay, so this is kind of how, as you handicap, you kind of go over the thought process. You can see for this Liverpool Man U game, 180 Man United. You can't see it because I don't have it on there. 180 Man United. This is how it's priced. 230 draw. So that's a even Steven game. So what happens with an even Steven game is that 180, and we'll go down here to show this. 180 is a 35.357. 180 is 3.357. That means the draw is 30%, so 0.303. So my thought was, well, what happens in this situation where these games are even Steven? Because it's a pretty even Steven type of odds here for this Burnley West Ham. So it's not as obvious, but this helped me to see this. So it's pretty close though. We got 174, 188, 225 on the draw. So let's see what happens when that happens. Okay, so you remember that 35.5%. You've got 35.5% here for the team, and 29% 0.7 for the draw. So similar games, and it gives you a pretty good sample size for what we have here. And so this is all matches that have happened in the last, well, since 2013. So I guess that's 4 years. So 1, 2, 3, 4, the fifth. This is the fifth season here. And you can see the draw, great utility and a decent sample size. They're pricing it at 29.7, but it actually happens 34% time, a 14.4% ROI. So is it lazy man's handicapping? Is it letting the bookmaker do the work for you? Well, sometimes, a lot of the times, the bookmakers, and it's interesting, and I'll have to share this correlation study with you on a future podcast, 65% correlation to odds to actual results. So the bookies, you've got to value what they do, especially overseas. Now, there's some squirrely books in the United States that they're just lazy and they just follow whatever the published line is. But these guys are sharp that set these lines for the Premier League. And I don't think the market's as sharp, and that's why I think we can bet into games that people don't want to bet. But sometimes these odds makers, a lot of times, they can do a lot of the work for you. So anyway, we just sorted down by that, and there's utility on the draw. We are going to make that our first observation game play, and you can see that Burnley West Ham, the draw is plus 225. And an observation unit of a quarter. Next game we will look at will be Swansea. Oh no, the next game we look at will be Manchester City and Stoke. So this one's actually pretty interesting because the model based on Module 1 showing Manchester City should be favored. If we go to G6, I think that was a little bit different. Here it is. That they like to draw on G6 with a 6% chance. Now look at the Manchester City 20-2, so 18 goal differential. Stoke 6-11, not horrible, but -5, but combined 23. So when this happens, 23 goal differential. The home team should be priced at 82%, and they are not. They're at 86%. And then the draw, I think I'm more interested in this draw here. The draw should be priced. It should be priced at 16.7% occurrence, but it's priced at 10.6. So 501 to 847. So really good utility on the draw based on that. So let's see what these similar games models will say. Okay, so this one we sorted to odds. Home team less than 400, so minus 510 odds. And it gave us, I wonder if I can maybe make that a little bit less than maybe 500, maybe get it closer to this game. It's going to kill your sample size a little bit. Same type of theory, though. A 607, a 25 sample size, and it's showing utility on the draw. You can see it's similar idea. 11.3% is the draw price. I think it was less. They're priced up at, let's see where we were here. Stoke priced up at 10.6. Okay. And so it's pretty close to these similar games. Draw happens 5 of 25 times, so you're only going to hit it 20% of the time, but it's going to pay off enough to give you a 10% ROI. And again, we're talking percentages, we're talking bookies, let the bookmakers do the work for you, and that's how we're going to go. Here we're going to play the draw 847. Again, it's kind of a lighter play, but the reason I do this is for handicapping theory. Plus, I mean, Manchester City most likely will be on TV tomorrow, so how are you going to play the game? We'll play it very, very light and play the draw in that game. Okay, so let's go to Swansea City. There's a couple of items that I like here, and let's get into that. So last year, this would have been a Module 1 play. I wouldn't have asked any questions, but there's some things within the sorts that I didn't like that disqualify the game as a Module 1 official play. Let's take a look at the raw numbers. Swansea Huddersfield, and Swansea with great defense, 149. Huddersfield with, let's do it defensively. So Swansea third in the league defensively, and Huddersfield is 8th in the league defensively. And, well, to me, that would say, well, let's lean to the under. So on the module, the attack module, it's not really showing that much utility. Attack module says minus 183. and the odds are minus 186. So nothing exciting there. Let's take a look at the G6 module. And so nothing, I don't think there was anything on there. And this -2, if you read that study on Football Data, you'll see that the -2 to 2 and the -5 to 5 were the difference. That was the best return on investment. Pretty good samples on both. And you can see Swansea, they've only scored 3 goals in their last 6 games. They've allowed 8. And this is one of the reasons yet they're pretty much favored. Huddersfield 4 and 7. They actually have a better differential goal-wise. They're saying that the goal differential is saying 131 for Swansea. They're priced at 120. That was one reason I disqualified it. There was some other advanced sorts that I didn't like. The sort that I'm going to show you is pretty interesting. It gives you 2 things that I agree with the 2 that they're showing. Okay, so this was the sort. So the difference between the teams 0 and 45, and just to get some context on that, let me show you the Premier Compare here. We got Swansea City, and we got Huddersfield. So difference 20, total 130. So not great numbers, and I think to take a look at the ratings, we have them sorted by here. We got Swansea at 11. We got Huddersfield Town at 55. So low scoring teams, and so the difference between 0 and 45, and the combined total less than 140, with team odds between, I think it was between 0.41% and 0.49%. So this is really telling with this under 2 is how we played it, because that's minus 108. So we played the under 2. There's been over has happened 60, or under has happened 62% of the time when this particular type of team matches up, it goes under minus 160, and then the utility on the draw 29.6% pre-match price to 34.3. And if you look at the price here, which we'll do, we are seeing the draw priced at 221. So that was real similar, I think, to the draw price. Well, close. 221. Or I'm not 238 as opposed to 221. Okay, so module 1 play is technically it's module 1, and I put this in even though I'm playing the draw, which technically is not module 1, but I'm putting it in so that you know it's module 1. So if you're like, well, screw the base winner, I'm going to just play the home team anyway, then that would be what you would, just so you know it. Okay. So, and the total under 2 minus 108, I think that has pretty good bearing too. So that observation game I like. And then we will go into the final game. We went into Tottenham Bournemouth on the free podcast. Final game is Leicester and West Brom, and this is the Monday Night Football. Yeah, the Monday Night Football that the international community recognizes as Monday Night Football. And we have the odds on this game, and it's showing a little bit of stuff on Leicester. So how the module works, module 1. So Pinnacle has it priced at 48%. We have it at 52.9, and it just missed. I think it's that's 4.8. So it really just missed. Just missed being a module play. But I might have kicked it out anyway. I'm liking the under in this game a lot better. We got attack module saying minus 151 to minus 128. We'll take a look at the attack module. It's showing 1.4 goals, Leicester 0.88 for the other team, West Brom. And if you take a look at this, the Leicester game, what does the G6 module say? It says absolutely nothing. There's no value anywhere on this one. So Leicester 6 goals scored, 8 allowed, so 14 goals. And West Brom, wow, that's a lot of goals for them. Both ways, 5 goals scored, 8 goals allowed. So they're still under average on the goals. And again, I'm going to do this G6 with the Poisson and get a number of what the hell was that? What the hell am I trying to say? I get a over under number. Okay, so we are looking to the under here, and we did a sort that kind of validates this. Okay, so this is a sort. It was just straight sort, and between odds between 0.45 and 0.49 if they're priced at. And look at this, under minus 167. Just and a good sample, 120 sample size. And well, hell, that's good enough for us. It does show a little bit of value on the home team, but our play for it is going to be under. Attack Module likes it. The sorts like it based on the odds. And we have put it in here under 2.5 minus 128. So that concludes observation games. You guys got analysis on every game on the EPL card. And look forward to watching these games. This is pure enjoyment for me to watch the soccer. It's so fast, and they do such a good job, NBC Sports, with the sound, and as the ball goes into the goal, just raising that sound. The only thing that was, I think, a little bit better than that is, I think I was watching the Nationals game, or there was one, I can't remember the game. The guy hit a home run, and it was the Cleveland game. One of the ones that they came back against Kluber to give him a 2-0 lead, which they squandered, but that's another story. The guy who pulled, I think it was Lindor that hit the home run, the granny, and it was great because there was two roars. It was right when it went off the bat, you heard the stadium just go, whoa, just roar up. And then when it hit the foul pole, you heard the ball hit the foul pole, ting, and then you heard another roar. And that's, to me, what makes it so fun to watch, especially when you have cash on the team. That's even better. That's just pure adrenaline, pure endorphin, pure fun. So let's hope we have a lot of that with our teams this weekend. Hope all your bets cash. Hope we get some baseball games for you, some football games for you, and some EPL